Hi there! In this video, we will discuss the summary of the 32nd chapter of El Filibusterismo, or The Reign of Greed, written by Dr. Jose Rizal, titled Effect of the Pasquinades. We will also study the important events, characters, settings, and lessons found in this chapter. Listen and watch carefully, as you will learn a lot from this historical work by Rizal. Let's begin. Because of what happened, many parents decided to stop sending their children to school. Instead, they encouraged them to work or just take a break. At the university, many students were suspended or failed their exams. Only a few passed, especially those who were part of a well-known student organization. Pasquinades, Tadeo, and Juanito Peláez were suspended. Pasquinades decided to work in the courts. Tadeo, delighted, celebrated by burning his books, as he saw it as the fulfillment of his dream of an endless vacation. Juanito Peláez was forced to work in his father's store, but eventually learned to like it. Macarig, who was wealthy, quickly left for Europe to avoid the trouble. Despite everything, Isagani and Sandoval managed to pass their exams. Isagani only in the class of Padre Fernandez, as he was suspended in his other classes, while Sandoval used his skill in public speaking to impress the examiners. Basilio was the most unfortunate, as he remained in Bilibid prison, undergoing repeated interrogations. While in prison, he learned from Sinong, the carriage driver who visited him, about Julie's death and Tandang Celo's disappearance. Meanwhile, Simone recovered from his illness but became more reclusive and mysterious. There were rumors that he would host a grand farewell banquet to thank people for his recovery and to say goodbye before leaving the country. He frequently visited the store of Don Timoteo Peláez, and people speculated that they had become business partners. It was also rumored that Juanito Peláez would marry Paulita Gomez, and many eagerly anticipated the grand wedding. All of Manila became preoccupied with the upcoming wedding of Juanito and Paulita. There was even a competition among people to secure an invitation to the lavish celebration, which Don Timoteo proudly announced and was believed to have been organized by Simon. Many businessmen tried to befriend Don Timoteo and Simon in hopes of being invited. The wedding reflected Paulita's decision to choose a life of luxury and security over a future with Isagani, who no longer seemed appealing to her because of his preference for heroism over a stable and comfortable life. Now, let's move on to the important events in this chapter. Many parents decided to stop their children from attending school out of fear of trouble. Instead, they chose to have them work or take a break. Many students were suspended from the university, and few passed their exams, especially those in a well-known student group. Tadeo even celebrated by burning his books. Macarig left for Europe to avoid the chaos, while Isagani passed only Padre Fernandez's class, and Sandoval impressed examiners with his public speaking skills. Basilio remained in prison at Bilibid and was continuously investigated. There, he learned the sad news about Julie's death and Tandang Celo's disappearance from Sinong, the carriage driver. It was rumored that Juanito Peláez would marry Paulita Gomez, and many in Manila were eagerly awaiting the grand wedding, believed to have been prepared by Simon, which caused great interest among those who wanted to be invited to the feast. Important characters: Basilio, a student caught up in the troubles, now imprisoned in Bilibid. He learned about the deaths of Julie and Tandang Celo during his detention. Simon, a mysterious jeweler close to Don Timoteo Peláez. In this chapter, he recovered from illness and was rumored to be organizing a grand banquet. Juanito Peláez, a student who was suspended and forced to work in his father's business. He is set to marry Paulita Gomez. Paulita Gomez, Isagani's former girlfriend, who decided to marry Juanito Peláez. She chose a life of luxury with Juanito over the romantic but dangerous path with Isagani. Isagani, a student suspended from most of his classes, except for Padre Fernandez's. He is Paulita's former lover, whom she left due to his ideals. Tadeo, a student who celebrated his suspension by burning his books, happy to have achieved his dream of a never-ending vacation. Macarig, a wealthy student who left for Europe to escape the problems. Pasquinades, another suspended student who decided to work in the courts. Don Timoteo Peláez, Juanito's father and Simone's business partner. He busied himself preparing the grand wedding for his son. Let us now proceed to the setting of this chapter. Most events in this chapter take place in Manila, especially at the university and Don Timoteo Pelaez's store. Here are some of the lessons, messages, or implications shown in this chapter. The chapter highlights how fear and uncertainty can lead parents to deprioritize their children's education, showing that an unjust system can hinder the progress of the younger generation. It also reflects society's preference for wealth, security, and power over love and principles, as seen in Paulita's choice to marry Juanito. This decision illustrates how people may abandon meaningful relationships and personal values for comfort and stability. Lastly, the story emphasizes how corruption and influence, exemplified by Simone and Don Timoteo, perpetuate social problems instead of solving them. And that concludes the 32nd chapter of El Filibusterismo, titled Effect of the Pasquinades. What have you learned from this chapter? Share your answers in the comments. We also encourage you to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay updated with our future videos. Until next time, thank you for watching.